Look
Rock
at
on, rock
this.
on. My name has been Cool, sports analyst, the host of BC-60. Today I'm interviewing Austin, the gnarly play-by-play broadcaster. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, Brandon.
No problem. I'm excited for our conversation ahead. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join me.
Of course, dude.
I have a few questions for you. What
Sorry, what was
sparked your passion for sports broadcasting, and when did you realize you wanted to pursue it as a career?
I think a lot, like many of us, we played growing up, and I played a lot of sports growing up, baseball, basketball, soccer. Then it became just baseball and basketball, and then it became just basketball. And, like all of us, there was a point where I knew it wasn't going to extend beyond high school playing competitively. And I got involved with a student radio station at my high school. I was very fortunate to have that set up at Concord Carlisle High School, WIQH 88.3 FM. And they had this studio in there, and I kind of first began running a sports talk show with my friends. And then the guy in charge there was also like, hey, you want to call some of these football games? And I remember there was a Thanksgiving, maybe my sophomore year in high school, where I tuned into a football game on the radio and I told myself, hey, I want to be doing this next year. I think I could do this. And I did it. And it was a lot of fun. It energized me to no end. And I would realize when I was calling some of these football games, with the dads of the players right there in the stands in front of you, from time to time they turn back around and give me some approving head nods. So I figured I was doing something right, and that passion translated over to Syracuse. I was very fortunate to get accepted there, and we kind of took off from there.
Gnarly. That sounds awesome. And what first sparked my passion for puppeteering is I looked at Sesame Street and the Charlotte Hornets. And I put the two together. I knew this is what I wanted to do as a career.
That's sweet, dude. Your Hornets are on the rise, man. That's a good team you got going on.
Thank you. And how has that passion progressed since the days at Syracuse?
Man, well, I guess I wanted to keep experiencing this fulfillment of calling games. I didn't want that to stop. Um, everyone says follow your dreams, and I know that, maybe for many folks out there, they can't because of some situations. And fortunately, I'm so grateful and lucky to be in a spot where I can pursue my dreams. And so I was like, well, it would be kind of a coward's way out to not pursue them, right? Like, I'm still doing stuff on the side, but calling games is what I love to do. So, I follow at least right now, I follow the college athletics calendar, and particularly calling basketball games is what I love to do most of all. And I reached out to 40 plus schools 13, 14 months ago at this point. And fortunately, some got back to me with approving messages, one of those being Dartmouth College. And they had all these opportunities for me. And I'm very thankful that I reached out and that they gave me these opportunities. And I got to call, you know, pretty much every home basketball game for them, men's and women's on the radio or the internet really last year. And, I think that'll pick up again this upcoming year. And Brandon, I just don't want that to end right now, Calling Division I basketball games is beautiful, dude. It fires me up so much. And I just as long as I can call games where the outcome means something to a lot of people, even if it's not like a lot of people, and the feeling that I get when I put the headset down after the game remains at like this high on life feeling. I walk back to the car, I'm like, man, that was good. That was fun. I feel good like in my chest. And that feeling has stuck with me since my time at Syracuse.
It sounds like you're enjoying yourself. As a founder and co-host of the Clean the Boards podcast, what inspired you to start the show?
I think it was my freshman year in high school, and there was a radio show called Third and Long that a couple of then seniors at my high school did, including a guy named Tucker Boynton. And they had like a live Facebook stream. So I would tune into some of those. And then I got connected with them. I think I like shared to Facebook or something like my initial March Madness spreadsheet thing way back in the day. And this was like 2018 maybe. And they were like, wow, this guy is kind of a nut, like a sports psycho. Um, let's bring him on. So I started like writing for them. I'd write some blogs for them, and I would watch, Tucker and I think Scott was his co-host name. I'd watch, their chemistry and how they talk about sports and Boston sports particularly. And I'm like, man, this seems like a lot of fun. This seems like things that me and my friends could do. And then there was this unique class that was offered, I think at the end of my freshman, maybe sophomore year of high school, that was called like starting a podcast or podcast making, something like that. It was like 4 days. And so I met the guy running the station and kind of learned about that. And the next fall, me and my friends started up there and we had a weekly talk show like every Thursday or something after school got out before like JV basketball practice or whatever else was going on in our lives at that time. And it was just fun. It was fun to create those show outlines every week, to talk to my friends. It never really felt like work. And we still do it sometimes, Brandon. We still do. Last week we did a Jaylen Brown traded episode. So we have, I think, over 140 episodes banked right now. It's not, it's not making any money. It's not something we do a lot. It's just a thing that we do for fun from time to time. But it's still great that it still exists this many years later.
Rock on. Looking ahead, what are some long term goals in sports broadcasting?
I think, like I said earlier, as long as I'm still calling games where the outcome of the game means something to real people, if it means something to me, right? I never want to show up. If I'm still, if I'm showing up to games 5, 10 years from now and I don't feel like the game matters, then I think that's a red flag. Um, I get like my long-term dreams are either be the voice of a Power Five team, and or one of these play-by-play voices at a television network, like an ESPN, Fox, CBS, NBC. But as long as I'm still calling high-level games, and the impact matters, and the pay is what it is, and hopefully that'll improve over the years, then I'll be happy. That's where I'm at right now.
Awesome. And is the Pacific sport, league, or event you want to love to call one day?
Basketball is certainly my favorite sport. Football is right there as well. I mean, I'd love to call games at venues like Fog Allen Fieldhouse, the Dean Dome, um, Cameron Indoor, yeah, maybe Baton Rouge on a Saturday night there in Death Valley at Tiger Stadium. But I don't know. There's I get energized by storylines and games, and if college basketball is probably like the most pure form of basketball that I enjoy. Obviously that's a drastically changing landscape month by month sometimes it feels like, but yeah, college basketball, the NBA, either of those would be phenomenal. If college football or the NFL ever came calling, I wouldn't say no to that either, right? You'd be a fool to. So yeah, I'd say those are probably the four, I guess, leagues that I would love to one day call games at a high level for.
And thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Brandon. This was awesome.
Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me for an interview. It was an absolute pleasure to speak with you, hear your insights, your stories, your perspective are inspiring. I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn from you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much and come back again soon. Rock on, rock on. That's the end of my show. See you soon, everyone.